Everybody, welcome to a new year and a new edition of The Break. Today we are going to be covering a New York Certificate of Insurance. That's been a hot topic lately at PIA. We've been getting a flood of calls talking about various illegal certificates of insurance actions. So I figured we'd give a primer on what certificate of insurance is and what is legal and illegal. With that, I'm going to introduce Clare Irvine, who is PIA's director. I'm sorry, I'm the director of government affairs. Clare is the government affairs counsel. Watch out, Clare, don't gun for my job just yet. And she's going to be walking us through the New York law. So Clare, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Brad. And as Brad said, this is we're just talking about New York certificates of insurance, the very, very basics. So first, the most basic thing, what is a certificate of insurance? These are certificates intended to verify insurance coverage by effectively summarizing key and confirming key information, including the policy, including certain coverages. So it's intended to summarize XYZ details of the policy and save everyone from actually reading what can be quite a lengthy document, usually used with contractors. So it's something, it just makes it quick and simple, and as a result, it's very, very important to accurately portray the information. So because of the importance of the accuracy, particularly when it comes to contractors working with each other and confirming each other's liability policy, certain policies, certificate forms must be either created by the insurance company or approved by the Department of Financial Services. Conveniently, the Department of Financial Services has a lengthy list on their website of all of the approved certificates forms, including many accord forms. So the link to that is below if you have concerns that a form that you've been asked to submit may or may not be a certificate. You should just double check before. It takes a couple minutes maximum. It's updated as DFS approves certificates forms. And in addition to the form being approved by DFS, it must also accurately reflect what is in the reference policy. It can't sum up an insurance policy if it's not accurate. And that makes it, New York, as a result, makes it illegal to actually include terms or conditions that are not in the insurance policy. Certificates of insurance must, either the party filling out the certificate or the party requesting it cannot require terms, conditions, or language that are not in the insurance policy. And that includes, it's against the law to ask for an insurance producer to fill out a certificate that does not reflect the policy. In addition, certificates of insurance fall under the New York forgery law, which means altering a certificate of insurance is considered a crime under forgery law. And we'll get to what that means next slide. But it's also illegal to require an insurance producer confirm that a policy meets the requirements of the contract they're entering. So if a party wants to enter a contract with a Brad's company, they can't ask their insurance producer to certify that their policy meets the requirements in their contract with Brad's company. The certificate reflects what's in the policy. It doesn't confirm that it meets the requirements of the requirements being put onto the client. So that's a really complicated way to say that certificate reflects the policy. It doesn't certify that they meet someone else's requirements. And there's some pretty harsh penalties for either falsifying a certificate or for inaccurately filling one out. Willfully inaccurately filling one out. The first part is under New York insurance law. The DFS superintendent can impose some pretty harsh financial penalties should they find a willful violation of the certificates law, which means it doesn't go through court. It's just, if DFS finds that an insurance producer or insurance company is filling out false certificates of insurance, they can charge that party with $1,000 for the first violation and then $2,000 for each subsequent violation, amounts that can add up very quickly should DFS find purposely inaccurate certificates of insurance. In addition, New York forgery law applies when these are forged, and that's actually a crime and may result in either a Class A misdemeanor or Class C felony, which may lead to a jail sentence of 1 to 7 years. So both a financial penalty that no one would want, as well as the possibility of actual jail time for forgery of a certificate. So the point of this document is to really certificate is to simplify what's in the policy to make everyone's lives easier, but there's some pretty harsh penalties should any party intentionally inaccurately reflect what's in the policies for the purpose of getting a contract. So with that, I'll turn it over to Brad. If you have further questions, this was the briefest of rundowns to just summarize the very basics of certificates of insurance law. PIA teaches many classes on this topic, but if you have specific questions, please contact Brad or myself or the PIA Resource Center. And there's additional links below to various resources PIA has, as well as the actual laws and information from DFS, particularly the approved certificates of insurance. I'll turn it back over to you, Brad.
Great, thanks, Claire. So I do want to have one question for you. It's a question that we have been getting from members. So if a third party was to approach your producer and require them to fill out a form online with some basic insurance information, let's say policy number and limits, would that be, one, considered a certificate of insurance? And two, would there be any sort of issues with the law there?
With that, it's really, it really creates this uncomfortable area for producers, because if it's anything that even starts to go into the area where it could be considered a certificate of insurance, it would have to be approved by DFS. So if there's any concern, that is really where feel free to call us if you in that situation, because each fact pattern might be different. But also, it's really important. It's better to be cautious and not accidentally fill out a certificate that's not been approved by DFS than to just do diligence that you're in compliance with the law.
Makes sense. Thanks, Claire. Well, that's all I have. Hopefully this was informative for everybody. Again, as Claire said, a quick hit. If you want more information, look at the links below or give PI a call. Thank you all for watching today, and hopefully you'll be seeing us soon.